welcome, or welcome back if you're returning. I love having you. Today is going to probably be kind of a short one. I have 3 projects to show you. I'm working on 3. This is my Mop It Up May, and I chose 3 projects that I thought I could finish. And I notice I'm not the only one. If you're new to Flosstube or the world of cross stitch, you may know or you may not know that back in 2015 there was a Facebook group that started something called Stitch Mania, and it was to start 15 projects in the first 15 days. Well, when I started Flosstube and I found out about Stitch Mania, there was no way I was going to stitch 15 projects and start 15 new things. So I didn't participate at first. And by the following year, I thought, well, what if I did something monogamous? I had projects I could finish. What I'm finding now, looking at a lot of the other Flosstubers, is that people are doing a similar thing. They're giving up the idea of starting all the things in May. And a lot of people have really narrowed it down to only work on a few things. So my idea of trying to finish off 3 projects is something that a lot of other people are doing as well. So let's get started. I'll give you an update on what happened with our power and the town, and I'll do that at the end. But I want to show you first how I've been organizing. So this is how I'm organizing. So I've put my actually 4 projects, because when I finish one, I want to have 3 in my so-called rotation. So I have all 4 in here. This is a magnetic board I use for my paper charts. This is actually one of my project bags, but I have it in here because it's got all the floss for my dimensions. And I just didn't feel like digging it out of the Ziploc. But everything I need, all 4 of my projects are in here. And then when I go to pick up something to stitch, I have it all right there. I don't have to say, well, what do I want to work on? Or I got to go get it. It's right here. So maybe that'll help some of you who want to narrow down and work on just a few things for a week or something. Don't know, but I highly suggest it. It's been very productive for me. So the projects that I'm working on, the first one is Snowflake Serenity. This is from the Christmas edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine, 2023. And I think I've been telling you December, but I was wrong. It's the Christmas edition. And here's where it is. So I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida by Picture This Plus called Barnwood. And I finished a little bit of the snow here, these 3 trees, all the snowflakes. I only had 1 color in on that tree, and I finished the next 2. And then everything from here over is new. So the only thing I have left, there are 2 more snowflakes up here and a tree, 1 tree here. So if I move this over, I think I can put the before in. So yeah, you can see quite a bit is done on that. And I don't think it would take much longer to finish. So yeah, real happy. So that's the first one. And the week that we didn't have power, and I had the grandkids here during the day, in the evening I would only stitch for a short time, and I pulled this out quite frequently. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Feasting Frenzy by Dimensions. Now it's pretty funny. I ordered a frame for this, and it turned out that while the seller was very good at describing the condition and taking pictures to show you everything, it was a used frame, it turned out she measured it from the outside of the frame, so my piece won't fit in it. So I still need to come up with a frame for this one. But here's Feasting Frenzy. So what wasn't, okay, I've got to finish this bird. I started and finished that one, I did the back stitch on all but these 2 birds, and of course the one I didn't finish. This one, the top half is back stitched and the tail. I started the back stitch here. I added a little bit more in here of the bird feeder house. And I did a little bit of the back stitch up here. So, but yeah, all of the, oh, and I also finished filling in the roof line up here. So let me move it over and show you where it was. So the back stitch is definitely not my favorite part, but it doesn't take too long. Yeah. So this right here, the bottom of this bird that is cut off, you can see it's not rounded. That's the bottom of the top page. So you can see this stuff is on the bottom page. This design is in 2 large pages. One page is the top, one page is the bottom. So yeah, that's where that is. This has only had, if you call it a rotation, has only had 1 rotation. And so yeah, it should get the second one here. Well, I just finished working on my one piece, so this will probably come out tomorrow, and I'll give this a few more days before I start rotating back through these projects. So, and then the one that everybody seems to love is Eyes of the Forest. And when I started May, I had 15,000 and some stitches left. I now have 7,047 stitches remaining. And I got a hair on my project, hold on. And here she is. So let me pull back. Yeah, so let me bring it in and show you what I've done. The whole top is now done except for this little section in here, the background. The whole bottom is done except for a little bit right here along the bottom of the owl. I have added all of this light color around the eye on both sides. I've added the dark brown to fill in a lot of the head. And whenever I had a blue from the background that went into the eye, I put it in the eye. So let me pull this back and I will put in a before. And you should be able to see a big difference. So there's that. So I've picked this up twice. This has had 2 rotations. I'm not doing a set rotation. I just kind of work my way through them. So how I'm doing this is that Snowflake Silhouette I bring out when I only have a few minutes to stitch, or maybe an hour, and then the other 2 I bring out when I have more time. So while I ordered a frame for Feasting Frenzy that did not work, I ordered my frame for, and you can see I bought kind of a weathered finish, and you can see how that will show up there. So here's the frame. I bought it again from my favorite online shop, which is Art2Frame. See, Art2Frame. And yeah, it just has a really subtle weathered look to it. So it's not too modern. I didn't want it to be too slick and modern for this piece. So now my Snowflake Silhouette probably won't take much longer to finish. And when that is done, the next project that will come in to keep my 3 projects will be this Mill Hill. This is a Jim Shore, Santa, and Cardinal. And here is where it is. So I don't know that I will have enough time to finish everything on this, but if all I was able to finish is the stitching, the cross stitching, I would be happy if I'm left with the beading. So those are the projects for May. That's all the stitching. The rest will kind of be a life update. So my last video I told you about a storm that went through. We had gusts up to 90 miles an hour. We had, the actual storm portion only lasted about 15 minutes. We had winds all day long though. We had gusts up to 70 miles an hour before the storm hit. So it was a windy day. It was warm. It was beautiful though. It knocked out power where I live for about 18 hours. It went out at about 10 minutes after 5 in the evening, and I got it back on around lunchtime. As you know, my son and his family did not have power much longer. So they were here. They came over Wednesday when my power came back on, so my son could work, and I entertained the kids. And then he had to work. He still didn't have power, so I had the kids Thursday and Friday while he had to leave for work. And while they were here Friday, they learned that it was about 2 in the afternoon. They learned that their home had power. And then that weekend, the school got power, so they were able to go back to school on Monday. My son's business was, so I kind of live here, my son lives over here, and his business is here. So he literally comes right by my house every day to go to work. His business finally had power Sunday night. And I'm sorry, I'm watching the birds outside. We had a nice big crow that just went by. Where was I? Okay, so everything went back to normal, but prior to the storm, the week before, my grandson had asked if he could spend the night that weekend, which became after the storm. So I actually had the kids here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then I had my grandson Saturday through Sunday. So I got no stitching really done. By the time the kids went home and I cleaned up and had dinner, and I would pick up Snowflake Silhouette for a short period of time, stitch on that, and then I was done. So it wasn't until the 6th of the month that I was able to actually start getting into my bigger pieces. So I'm happy with the progress that I had there. I now have a new project. I don't think it'll take up as much time, but I've decided that I need to redesign my living room. And I have 2 pieces of furniture, one in my bedroom, actually no, 2 in my bedroom that I need to redo, that I've just been putting off. So this all started, if you want to know. You're welcome to leave if you're not interested in this. So I had lived in a farmhouse that was built in 1908, and it had wainscot, and it had nice thick moldings and beautiful windows, tall windows that made a statement. And I moved into a 1970s apartment that is, let's say, a plain box. There's no moldings around the windows to speak of. There's nothing that dates it, that says this is this period or this is this style. And it's nice because everyone is able to then create the style they want in their home. It's a blank slate. And when I moved here, the furniture I brought with me was from my home. And it didn't quite work here. It was designed, most of my furniture, unless it's upholstered, is stuff that I found and brought home and redid, restored it, repaired it, the whole bit, to make it work in my home. And it really didn't work here. But I'd look at it and go, but I don't want to do this all over again. Anyway, YouTube suggested a video to me one day, which was telling you how you could use AI to envision your room redone. And I thought, really? Okay, let's see. Well, the minute I told it what I wanted, I'd never used an AI program before, so this was my first venture into it. It has its flaws, it has its limitations, but it was fun to play with for a moment. But the funny thing is, everything I knew that I wanted or needed to do to make my room feel right was exactly what it told me I needed to do. And as soon as I saw my things in the space reimagined, I knew it was time to do that. So now that everything is back to normal with the kids and they're not here every day, now I'm tearing apart my living room. And I knew that the dresser and the nightstand that I have in my bedroom, I wanted to redo. I was in the process of redoing the one when I found out that my name had come up for an open apartment. And I decided I wasn't going to finish it and have it get damaged in the move. So that has always been something I knew I needed to do. But now I've got to go out there and strip down furniture and make it look like it needs to be for this space. And I'm excited because now I actually saw it, right? not just in my head, but I actually saw a picture of it done. So that's what I'm doing. I'm stitching, and I'm trying to enjoy the nice weather on the days it's nice. We've been having rain like almost every single day, but it's been warm enough that in between the rain I've been able to enjoy going out. And then the rest of the time I'm reimagining my living room, making the vision come alive. So that's really what I'll be working on for the next 2 weeks. And then I will see you in June to show you how many projects I actually finished in cross stitch. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your May, that you get a lot of stitching done. Yeah, and enjoy the beautiful weather. I think even right now it's that transition, so I think everybody probably is having nice weather all around the world. So I will say goodbye, and I will see you soon. Bye.